been a couple weeks since season one has finished airing. Have you had time to process the reception to the show?
Not really. It went fast. It felt like it went very fast. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
It's also so rare now, especially for a streaming show, that you guys were still filming while the show was airing. So what
Yeah,
was that like?
it was really trippy to try and stay in the whatever we were doing, because we'd get texts from people saying like, "Oh, that one thing that happened," and I'm like, still at work going, "No, I just did something else."
I know they gave all the actors character breakdowns before you guys started shooting. So what was in Mel's besides like the biographical bits of, her working the VA and her mom dying?
That and just having to be a caretaker when in med school, which sounds impossible to me.
The stereotypical portrayal of neurodivergent characters is, cold and unfeeling and robotic, and Mel
Yeah.
is the complete opposite. So how did you approach that? And how, like obviously it was very important for you to dispel that stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm neurodivergent, so it's always bugged me. And still, there is a show that will not be mentioned that I saw, and I was like, wow, they're really trying to play autism there in a very unflattering light. And it's just, I think what's frustrating is it is this idea of robots as opposed to uh, humans and people who have a lot of things going on. And yeah, I mean, it tends to be very one note, and I'm hoping that I'm doing a good job.
I think sometimes when you see people on the spectrum maybe have like an anxiety attack or something, like you might think they're incapable of doing something, but Mel is a doctor, and she shows her competence and she's a great doctor. Even and then she knows how to
Yeah,
calm herself down when she does feel an anxiety attack coming on.
yeah, because it'll be like meltdowns that where they're
Mhm.
completely immobilized, and it's just like, well, okay, that's one way to do it, but it's just not. I don't know. I think they always tend to play um, without empathy and not understand that a lot of the misunderstanding and yeah, misunderstanding comes from overwhelm more than anything. Trying to do a good job and trying to impress people, and that's already so many things to focus on. That if something is missed, it's because you're already focused on so many other things.
She is a caretaker of her sister Becca, and an orphan, and put
Yeah,
herself through medical school. And yeah, that's a lot for one person to take on, but she's always so positive. And then I like knowing that, and then in the show with the caretaker fatigue storyline with Ginger and Rita,
yeah,
like how much did Mel relate to that situation? And then you can
yeah,
see her like hoping like, oh, I hope she didn't like ditch her mom. you know
yeah. I mean, I think it was something she could see so well of that same tired, that same level of exhaustion, and but also and that hope of like hoping you're doing a good job and that you are helping, but also just, I mean, it's got to be it's got to be so exhausting, especially Mel going through med school doing that is like that's so much. It's so much. It's just a lot. I think Mel definitely saw herself in Rita, and I think there's a bit of a guilt of going like, I'm not in that position anymore, for Mel. And then but the rest is just, I mean, you can't help but notice how tired and kind of scared she is.
yeah, the day starts with her so optimistic. She's so excited to be there. And then, we go through the day and you really see the strain on her throughout the day and all the different cases. And it can be so overwhelming for her. And she's, by the end, she's like beaten down, not the same way as to how like Robbie or Abbott are beaten down, but when you pick up your sister, you're staring at the ground and you look so worn out, but then you perk up when she comes down the stairs. So how did you approach that scene?
There's so many emergency room workers that there's no way they're taking everything home with them every time. Um, I don't know what family would stick around for that if they did that. And so I think letting yourself have the moment of, oh my God, I'm so exhausted, but also remembering that there are other things really important in your life and to be there for them. I think Mel knows to kind of step it up, but kind of just to know when to be in a moment and when to snap out, which is a skill I very much do not have.
She can compartmentalize, and we see
Oh
her when she takes breaks to, she watches like that, like lava lamp on her phone.
yeah, whatever self-soothing something to be able to break it up. Yeah,
Well, how many times do you think she and Becca have watched Elf?
I don't think Mel could count anymore. I think it's so ubiquitous in the household that it's just like it's almost its own wallpaper now. It's like we don't have to do that one, but okay. I mean, it's a great movie, and everyone who likes it probably overwatches it. I know I do, but I think that level is, yeah. I don't know. All I was thinking is, I hope Mel can sleep through the movie.
Yeah, and then Becca would probably, wake her up when her
Yeah,
favorite
you
one.
missed it. He's like,
Yeah, she missed it.
no.
What would Mel prefer to watch?
Anything soothing. Um, uh, Probably a lot of Wes Anderson because it's so controlled. Like the story's there for you already, and you can just kind of pick it up and enjoy it as it is.
Well, I love the way she, gently suggested to Becca to watch something else. And it was kind of like the way she talked to Bella, the sister of the drowning victim, which was probably the saddest scene for you, like your character of the show. But like the way she broached not telling her that her sister died, but using the bear.
Yeah.
What was it like shooting that scene?
It was good but tough. There was one or two takes where I actually did start crying. Of course, the director's like, you can't cry though. I'm like, I know, I'm trying. Yeah, that was a tough day. That's when you go home for a bath or something and just kind of like unwind. And of course, Mel can't. Not yet.
I also love how you see the impact of that particular death, I guess, because it is a child on the whole staff. Like Langdon has to like call his kids.
We would ask some of the real doctors and nurses that we have on staff what it's like. I mean, I asked before I even knew that was a plot point in the whole show. I went, what is it like when it is a kid? And I remember Nurse Tim told me, he was like, it just, everything, the whole energy changes for everyone, even if you're not in the room. And afterwards, everyone does take a moment for themselves. Obviously, if someone needs help, they're still doing that, but just gives themselves a second, like maybe goes to their locker just to breathe or something like that.
There's so many great small excited Mel moments too. I love all of them, and when she just gets so amped to do something, like I love when like Landon tells her, we're gonna do the STEMI, and then he touches the door frame, and you try to reach for it, and you miss, and you grab your hair. Was that scripted?
No. Every time Patrick went out, he touched it, and I thought it was just so funny and such a boy move, like so boy, to be like, I wonder if I can reach this. Yes, I can. Awesome. And I just thought it would be fun to tease him. And yeah, I didn't expect them to keep it, but they did. So yeah.
But how do you find like the right level of excitement for her to show in those moments?
It's a really good question. I think directors have a lot of say. So I'll try something and they'll be like, all right, maybe not this time or in this scene, but glad you're trying something. And it's like, yep, nope, it's fine. Just tell me the level. I'll I'll find it.
In the finale, when she like finishes the spinal tap, against the anti-vax mom's wishes, she has a little smirk, and I love that because it was like she was being defiant, which you don't really expect from her, from like the pilot. That's not the type of person she is.
No,
but now
that's what
she's
the
being
shift has
defiant.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what the shift has done to her, of just kind of realizing that patients' care is much more important than the rules sometimes. And it's like, oh, it's their first time being sneaky ever.
I mean, she was the one who suggested donating blood,
Yeah, which is, again, against the rules. And so against, I think, what Mel thought she was until you're thrown into that into those emergency situations where it's like, oh, the rules shouldn't apply as much here. If it's a matter of life and death, like we should always choose life. Which I don't know how well that would actually work in real hospitals with all the tort law, but
You
still,
can, you can do it in TV. It's okay.
I was gonna say I think saving lives is still hopefully the better choice.
Langdon and Mel's relationship has become a fan favorite. And I talked to Patrick, and he said like he thinks Langdon likes to feel needed, and Mel provides him that.
Oh yeah,
Unlike Santos. Yeah, and Mel, like you saying, like early on she was a rule follower, and she also wanted a mentor, which you could see in the beginning she wanted that to be Robbie, and then she just like pivoted
he's just like,
to Langdon.
who's gonna let me, yeah, attach.
So how do you view their relationship and how it grew throughout the season?
Yeah, I think Mel came in just try and find someone to attach to, some senior doctor to just like absorb everything. And I think Langdon has always wanted someone to see him as a mentor. And it's clear he keeps trying with like every single new doctor that day, and no one's really biting until Mel. And so I think it was a perfect situation of him always wanting a mentee and Mel always wanting a mentor. And boom.
He also acknowledges like that she's talented, like with the autistic patient. Like he wanted to know, how did you do that? And she's like, I just listened.
Yeah, not quite picking up on that. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, and I think there's something about Mel's innocence and excitement about everything that kind of softens him. And I feel like Patrick did a great job of kind of having that be an unexpected side effect. Like you can tell that even Langdon's kind of like, why am I softening? But I am to you. Like, after screaming at Santos, he's so gentle with Mel in the break room. It's fun to have to get to be the character that breaks a character's norm.
I mean, I imagine when she returns to work the next day, she's going to be shocked that he's not there. How do you think she'll react?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little foggy on how shifts work, but it would be just kind of a surprise. And with anything like that, usually uh, people try to keep it under wraps of why, because you also don't want to get sued by the person you fired. And so just to have like not really much of an answer would be more than frustrating for Mel, to just be like, I'm sorry, someone is gone and everyone's like not talking about it.
Well, season 2 will pick up on Langdon's first day back at work on the 4th of July, 10 months later. So how do you think Mel will react?
I think just genuine excitement. I mean, when Mel saw Langdon back for the mass casualty incident, it was just like she was so excited. I don't know. I don't think Mel judges people very much.
No, I think she'll have a ton of empathy for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be able to be maybe one of the only ones that is not awkward around him.